Hey ladies, today I'm going to be doing my interpretation of vegetable lasagna. I am going to be using dairy products since I'm not a vegetarian, but add to what you like. We're going to be using lasagna, and I'm using sharp cheddar cheese shredded. I'm using Sargento. We're going to be using ricotta cheese. I use pollo, and we're going to get some sweet onions. We're going to use mushrooms. This is going to be our meat base. Mushrooms are a good substitute for meat if you don't want to eat meat. And I like to use pizza sauce. You can use pasta sauce or tomato sauce, anything you want, but I like pizza sauce. And we're going to be adding some cream of mushroom soup to give it a little bit of texture. I'm going to be using a plastic dish because I don't have any dishes right now and I don't want to work on the cleanup, so we're just going to be using that. Here you can see I have some chopped onions. I sliced 1.5 onions. I sliced the entire thing of mushrooms. And we're just going to be adding some canola oil into our pot here, our saute pot. Just enough to coat the bottom. I had a really big bottom, that's why I kept adding. And we're going to be adding in our mushrooms. Adding in our mushrooms, we're going to be adding 2/3 of the container because our mushrooms will wilt and get smaller when it cooks. I'm just going to break up the bigger mushrooms in half with my spoon and start adding the onions. I dropped some onions, and since I'm not entertaining today, this is just for my family, I'm going to add them back in. Just breaking up the onions with my spoon and my fingers just now for any onions that are still stuck together from the root. We're going to let that cook for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then this is what it should look like. Our onions are translucent and our mushrooms have shrunk. So now you know it's time to add your soup. We're going to be adding 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. This will give us 2 layers in a quite large pan of lasagna. I'm making a family size. If your family is bigger, just double your ingredients. So there we go, our 2 cans of mushroom soup is in there. I'm going to stir it up a little bit. I'm going to be adding my ricotta cheese now. And I'm going to be using my little ladle spoon as a guide. So you're going to see me in a second after I open the thing, squeezing out some ricotta cheese into the ladle, using that as my guide. As soon as it's full, that's how much I'm going to add. I'm also now going to be adding my pizza sauce to kind of loosen up the cream of mushroom soup, as it tends to get thick with all that cheese in there. Here you see me stirring, and then I'm going to be adding my pizza sauce. Little more. I add about half of the jar of that small sauce. And I'm just going to be mixing everything together, letting it cook for about another 5 to 10 minutes. Just heating up all the ingredients. Okay, so I have my first layer down already, and I'm going to be adding, this will be our meat sauce. If we were making a meat lasagna, that would be our meat sauce. So I'm just adding my meat sauce my vegetarian sauce in there. And making sure it gets to the corners. Now I'm going to lay down a layer of cheddar cheese. Okay, now I'm adding my other layer, and I'm going to be doing the same exact steps for my last layer. I'm just putting it down a whole bunch of that meat sauce, some cheddar cheese, and ricotta cheese. Then I'm going to be covering my entire tray with aluminum foil because I don't want the cheese that I have on top and the pasta on top to burn while the rest of my dish is not cooking. Okay, I'm going to set my oven on to 400 degrees. It comes up automatically to 350, so I'm going to raise it up to 400. I'm going to be baking this lasagna for 40 minutes. Okay, loves, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.